3 up, 2 across, tap that play button 3 times, and walk through the archway into Dialogue Alley. Hello and welcome to Dialogue Alley, a podcast all about Harry Potter books, book translations, and all other things magical. I'm Erik.
I'm Carly.
And I'm Melanie.
And the 3 of us are Harry Potter book translation collectors. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. It means we collect books from all over the world. So if you thought maybe there's a Harry Potter book in Korean, is there, Melanie?
There sure is, and it happens to be one of Eric's favorite books.
It is. One of my favorites. Carly, is there a Harry Potter book in Afrikaans?
Yes.
There is. Melanie, is there one in Klingon?
Not yet.
I did Google that the other day.
Sorry.
I actually did Google that the other day, like 3 days ago, just to make sure we didn't miss one.
I know.
I would hate to miss that.
We're almost to 100 translations and adaptations and transliterations and whatnot, but there's still no Klingon or Elvish or Esperanto officially or Swahili.
Or
some
Zulu.
Notable
Or
omissions.
Yeah, big languages.
Or Zulu.
Yeah. Or Tahitian. Tahitian would be neat.
I know, but do we have French? Yeah. Italian? Oh, yeah. Spanish? You betcha.
So many.
Anyway, we're glad that you're with us today. This is episode 15 of season 3 of Dialogue Alley, so thank you for being with us. We have a lot to talk about this episode. We have just a teeny tiny bit of news. We have a pretty huge main segment in terms of quantity of things. I don't know how long it's going to actually take us, but
it's hefty.
Probably not super long.
It'll be great.
But we also, like always, it'll be great. We have a wonderful translation of the show, and I just can't wait to get started. So I think we should get right on to the news.
Oh, me. I was looking at things. So the new Croatian translation has arrived. It's landed. How neat is that? This is the one with the really fun cover art that I'm so glad is now actually on a book. It was, I think, on just audiobooks. Wasn't it just audiobooks?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where we saw it, was with audiobooks.
Right. And now it's officially on a tangible book, and I love it. I'm really hoping for all the rest of them, but I'm also not, because then I have to buy them. It's one of those giant, like, I want it, but I don't kind of situation.
I feel like it's been a bit since we've had, like, a brand new set. Like, it's been a while since we've had, like, a brand new set of art. Like, I feel like Bulgarian, maybe, and Estonian now that's, like, trickling out. I feel like those are, like, the new
2020 was a giant year for new cover art. I feel like 2019, 2020 was great, and then it's just kind of not. But also they were big years.
Yeah, it's been quiet for like a little bit, so I'm excited to have new art. And before we started recording, we were kind of talking about like, do we think that there's going to be a whole set of these?
Right.
Probably.
I'm hoping so.
Like the art already exists, so why not?
And I mean, it's just more books to talk Erik into buying.
No, I only want book 1 of this. Sorry.
Yeah,
for now.
That's good for like your criterion. It's just like one, like just book 1.
But they're different translations, like, technically. So at least 1 through.
I know someone at work today was like asking all about our podcast and my collection and whatnot, and he asked like, so now that you have all the books that you want, are you starting to collect other books? And I'm like, oh no, like I'm full.
No, well,
he's like, are you doing like Lord of the Rings? Are you doing like, I don't know, series of unfortunate events? I'm like, no, absolutely not. I'm sorry. Like I am full.
Because this never ends.
Thank you for asking.
I mean, that's the great thing about this collection, I guess, is like you think that there is a finite number, but it isn't. It doesn't end. And like I feel like our collecting criteria like always changes of what we want to be collecting, and I'm pretty firm on unique cover art being it. Complete sets, if it's unique cover art, that's what I want. But I don't know, I feel like Erik is still like in a place where he could be swayed slightly, especially because you do have some you have some full sets.
I mean,
there's stuff that I want to buy still.
Yeah,
but live. I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
Because my goal's been met, so everything else is just kind of supplementary, like...
It's just fun. Yeah. And everything's, like, what's
neat... It's like a party favor.
What's neat is everything's always in flux. So, I mean, you can suddenly decide, hey, I really love book 4 also. Like, those are spiffy covers. I'll grab all of those. And suddenly you're back to doing that. And you already would have a leg up because you've been buying a few sets now.
Yeah, and it's like you already are in the swing of things. Like you already kind of know where to go for books and things like that. So, yeah, if you wanted to delve
But I also,
deeper.
like, I've bought what I want and what I need, in quotations. And anything else now is just kind of like, I want it, so I'll get it. Not like I need it, so I'll get it.
Right.
Which is nice because there's no pressure, besides from you two, to get anything... else that I don't have on my shelf. So
what's nice about collecting, like if you were to choose later books, what is nice is there's not like any of the big 6 in those. It's just all book 1s for now anyway. So at least you don't have to have a lot, you don't have to worry about, well, I've got to keep this much in case I run into a Malayalam Goblet of Fire, which isn't a tangible
I mean, that's
book.
true. And I can argue that in saying like, we talk about the big 6 all the time, but there's not necessarily like the big 6, but there are like other big books that I know like in my collection or that like Carly would try to collect are very hard to come by and could cost a lot of money. I know like we talk about like the French Deluxe all the time. Those books run like $300-$400 each. Yeah. So
how about Malaysian Book 1? That is one vanished off the planet.
What? I want to say both Malaysian covers are getting hard to find. I haven't seen either one.
I haven't, and I know people that need them and they cannot find them. And Kamai, we've talked about that for a while.
Yep.
Like there are books that are going away. So
so it'll be changing too. Like what is
crazy?
What the values are of things as this continues to be a growing hobby, right? But still interesting.
Which is kind of the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
Yeah, and it's books that I hadn't always thought of that were going to disappear. Like Malaysian is one I didn't see becoming harder to find. And that's the news.
Yeah, news.
Woo. News. Woo news. Guys, we have a jam-packed main segment today. Jam-packed. Because we are talking today about the British books. And there are
so many.
There are so many. And I feel like we've done episodes like this with French books. We've done episodes like this with the German books because there are so many German books. But the UK books like completely compete with the German books for the most. I wonder which one. Do you know which one has more?
I haven't counted.
I would still say UK.
I would say it'd be close though. Like it would be pretty close.
Book is from the UK, but yeah, it would be close. I guess like it would depend if you count all of like the promotional copies
like
and
the
stuff.
Special, like the softcover special editions, because Germany puts those out and it's only for book 1. So I guess it depends on how far. Like, do those count? Do they not?
I'm just looking at my shelves.
Because they have 3 now that are different covers.
Yeah, just looking at my shelves, the UK books take up like 6 of my shelves, whereas the German books only take up like 4 of my shelves. So that's how I'm measuring.
Yeah, that's a fairly good way to do it.
I'll go with that.
Which I feel like isn't the best scientific way to do it.
Also, though, what UK does that Germany doesn't do, and we'll talk about it a lot more in a second, is that they have soft and hardcover sets for things, right? Whereas Germany, it's like they don't have a hardcover spell box set, right? I wish they did.
That's true. Germany tends to pick one or the other.
Yeah. Or like a soft cover rainbow. Agree with that.
Yeah, and I feel like even with that being said, I feel like I listed all of these and I wrote hardcover and paperback, or hardcover and paperback, hardcover. Like, some of them come in both.
Right.
But that being said, there are still so many. So the first books that we're going to talk about are just the original covers. So for those of you who don't know, the original cover art for the UK books that we literally talk about probably every single episode. Book 1, the cover art is done by Thomas Taylor. You hear us talk about Thomas Taylor all the time. It's that iconic cover, Harry, train, red. Like, those are like the keywords. Harry,
yellow words.
Train, red. Keywords. So yeah, he did the cover art for that book, but then there are 3 other cover artists for the remaining books in the series. So it's Cliff Wright does books 2 and 3. Book 4 is done by Giles Greenfield. And books, what am I up to? I'm doing my
5,
fingers
6,
wrong.
and 7.
5, 6, and 7 are Jason Cockcroft. So there's so many. It's 4 completely different ideas. And that's something that we talk about all the time, too, is like, we could have had one Harry Potter book. It could have been one and done. It could have been Philosopher's Stone, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, when more came out, they had to come up with another cover artist. And they are kind of, like, cohesive in the way that these books are styled, but across the entire set, they're not cohesive. Like, it obviously, because
right.
it's 4 different
aside
artists.
from, like, the formatting of the book.
Right, that's
with,
what
like,
I
the
mean.
3 different color. Yeah.
Right.
The art itself is different, but, like, the formatting of the books is cohesive to an extent.
Right. It's like cohesive-ish. But
they go well together.
Covers,
I do think
spine-wise, they look like a set.
Each other.
Yeah, but then if you look at just like the covers of the books, you're like you could tell that they're done by different artists. Particularly, I feel like Giles Greenfield. I feel like he stands out a lot. I feel like Jason Cockcroft, his Harry is a completely different Harry from Cliff Wright's Harry. Like
and the dragons, his dragons.
Oh my God, his dragon is genius. Giles Greenfield's art in general is absolutely genius. All 4 of them in their own rights are just 4 like genius individuals for these Harry Potter books. So it's just I think it's a really cool thing, because I think it's the only set that's like that it's 4 different cover artists, if we really like think about it.
Unless you count Persian Farsi, which I don't even know what's going on.
No one knows what's going on there. I don't.
Nah, we don't. Nobody knows.
Although Persian, the second edition, they seem to be the same illustrator. It wasn't. They're not.
Well,
they're not
I'm
as
talking about the
busy.
original.
The original, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. So.
Right. So we've talked about those 7 books a lot. Really,
yes.
The original iconic 7 UK books that were,
and those
just started the whole thing.
Those are in hardcover and paperback. You can find them in both. And the other thing that should be noted is the first 17 printings of Philosopher's Stone features a brown-haired little brown-beard wizard on the back, which there's a really cool blurb. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you don't know about this. In the 25th anniversary of Philosopher's Stone that we have that just came out about the Brownbeard Wizard. And then the 18th printing on has Dumbledore on the back, which is really cool. I feel like that's the only like real big variant. Oh, I didn't add the 25th anniversary on this list. I can't. Oh,
wow,
the worst.
Yet another one.
Another one. Anniversary. That's how we spell that word. All right, so the next set that we're going to talk about is the adult edition paperbacks. And then these I'm like separating out as adult edition paperbacks because it comes in a box set of 4. So it's only 4 books. They are black and white with like red detailing. I guess is like the best way to kind of put it. Oh, well, the book 1 is red detailing, and then book 2 is blue. Book 3 is also red. Book 4 is like a maroon.
Book 1 was orange.
It's like I guess it's like an orangey red. They're like all if you look at them, they're like all different shades of red. It's like a orangey red, then a pinkish red, and then a purplish red. Not the one you're talking. Eric's holding a book in his hand. No, not that one.
Those are later on.
Hold on.
Well, this is a list that I have like a hodgepodge of books from. So like when you've written them all out, I don't know if it's the one that I have.
Dude, go to my website. Go to my website. Wait, where's my Johnny Doodle? Oh, it's these ones.
I love these adult editions. These they're very cool. Different. Yeah, I wish they would have done all 7 books in them instead of stopping at book 4.
They're neat because it's very ultra hyper realistic art. Like
right. Well, and the photography, like, is I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was reading the copyright page and their photographs.
Yeah, that's what's so neat. It's like a photograph of a steam engine. Mm-hmm. You have a photograph of just a car in the clouds. A photograph of an actual eagle / horse.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, Erik. Correct. And then the last one is like a Chinese dragon, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think, Melanie, I don't know if you were with us when Carly and I talked with us. Now that I know what we're talking about, this is where, like, people were like, hey, I don't want to be caught reading a book with, like, a drawn picture of a train and a kid on it because people might just think I was a child reading this book. But if I read a book with a real photograph of a train on the front, nobody is going to think twice about what I'm reading. They're going to think I am a mature adult and that I have nothing to do with this fantasy fiction book aimed at young adults, 12 to 14 years old.
Well, and what's interesting is these were published really soon after. These came out in like 98, the book, when they started making these adult editions. I just think that just stands to a testament to the popularity of the books really soon.
Yeah, and I feel like that's really cool that they recognized early that adults were going to relate to these books almost as much as kids do, and we're going to have a connection to these books too. So I feel like that's like a nice homage.
I agree.
Yeah, so that's a really cool set. The next set that we're going to talk about, we can kind of talk about pretty quickly, is the deluxe edition sets. So this is just like the standard deluxe editions.
With the gilded edges and the
solid, they have like gilded side edge.
I'm gonna let you two go for it because I don't have these ones. So
you don't have any of them? None of them?
No, I don't. So tell me about them.
I mean, here's the thing. I feel like as far as like deluxe edition goes, they're nice. But they're nothing like fancy. But the thing is they're like so coveted.
I know, and I don't know why. Like, they don't do anything for me to speak of. Like, I like that, the Azkaban is green because I love green.
I know, and I love the particular blue that they use for
and
Half-Blood.
I love the gilded edging. Nice. Like, I love the gilded edging. I think that is so cool. But aside from that, they really don't do anything for me. The paper dries out really quickly. Like, and if you crease it at the top, like the outer edges, like now, it's not uncommon for those edges just to tear where the crease is because they're so dry. Like,
I don't know. I just feel like as far as like a deluxe edition, like they're not really that deluxe. I don't know.
No, but I agree. I agree entirely. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I have 2 through 4. And those are the ones, like, I found a first print deluxe edition back when I didn't know what anything was. I love those. I found a deluxe edition.
Not those, Erik.
Azkaban at a used bookstore. It was $20. I bought it, and this was before I started collecting, and I showed my friends, and it was a first print. So that is actually how I got my first print deluxe Azkaban, is I paid $20 at a half price books. And that was exciting. That. And then the others I just got really good deals on, but I'm not going to pay, like, book one first print deluxe of Stone is selling for like $700 right now unsigned. I'm not going to do that.
Know.
And I'm not going to buy one that's...
You're not going to try to convince... You're not going to convince me to buy that,
I don't like
Carly?
them enough to convince myself to buy them, so I'm not going to convince you.
Oh, okay, good.
I just have them because I feel like I need to have them, so I have them.
And they sell for ridiculous amounts on eBay. Like, people are like,
yes.
I'm going to spend $2,500 on this, and it's not worth it.
And the box set, like, trying to even box the box set's, like, out of the question. It's so overpriced.
And they're even later prints. Like, I could go on. It's just, this set is actually a soapbox set of mine, so we'll just move on.
Yeah, that's okay. Erik was actually just holding up a book for the next set that we were talking about. You were just holding it up. Hold it up again.
I was.
You were. It's one of my favorites.
The next set. This is the next one.
Oh, I just put it down.
Oh, come on.
Oh, and I just dropped it.
Oh, Erik.
Wow.
Found it. Got it. Yay! Here it is.
Thank goodness.
I love this set.
Okay, so the next set is the celebratory editions. So these are cool.
Well done on the music.
Oh, thanks.
This set earns it.
They're really cool. They I mean, I think the quality of them kind of really sucks, but
yes. I agree.
But they look nice. They look really nice. So it's the regular original cover art that we were talking about before, but they like reformatted the books into these really cool paperbacks that have like these little stars all over them.
Yes.
And definitely just made them quite a bit more cohesive.
You do have to be careful with the book one of this set, because people do try to sell it try to sell the first prints as first print, first edition, and it's not. It just shares similar cover art. Or it's the same Thomas Taylor cover, just different bordering. Also, Rain Coast Canada has books 1 through 3, but they're the Magic edition, not the Celebratory edition, and that does matter. So you just have to kind of do some research. But I love these. Interestingly, these were also called movie tie-ins because they were only published the year the movies came out, which is why these came out. Book 1 came out in 2001. I love it. So cool. I love these books.
Mine's from Australia. Ooh. And printed in Australia.
Yep, Australia has them too. It's neat.
Yep.
Yeah.
They do. My sister got that for me in Australia.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
Pretty exciting.
I love these.
Sure
and all 1 through 7 are here. I love it. I love these books.
You know what's...
what I like the most about these is that everything seems to be the same except for obviously the stars. And then, like, even though mine's significantly faded on the spine, the gold foiling that they put, like, randomly, like, on the font and the bottom of the front, and then, like, one of the... sections on the spine. Super cool. Like when you put them all together, I don't have them all, but I've seen them all, and they look super cool when they're all together with the different gold
They're beautiful.
Parts
and interestingly,
they're really nice.
They're harder to find in nice condition. Like, I actually have had 2 sets of these, and both of them are like good plus on a fine day.
Yeah, I feel like that's what I was like leaning to with the quality. I feel like even the quality of mine, they're like dinged up really easily.
Yeah.
Mine, for some reason, book 5 is thinner than book 4.
Yes.
Thinner paper, that happens.
So book 5 is available in 2 different styles. You can have one where it's thinner than book 4 with like super fine, like Bible fine paper. I love that one. And then they also have a big thick one that feels just like the rest of them. It was a toss-up between which one I wanted. I love both.
I have the thinner one.
I think it may have both.
I think it's funny. Like, that's, I love having the thinner one because I just think that it's funny. But I kind of would, like, love to have the other one also. So, I don't know. I'll keep my eyes out.
I understand.
All right. Let's talk about our next set, which is... Okay, so this is going to be... I feel like I keep saying, like, adult editions, right? So this is the next black and white adult editions.
edition.
The next adult editions, exactly. So These ones are cool because nope, still not those, Eric.
Those are later adult editions.
Keeps trying.
A for effort. T for
I mean, what's cool
terrible
about these is like we see art either similar to this art or this art used elsewhere, like throughout the world, which is really cool.
Yeah, like some of the translations have adopted this art too.
Yeah, doesn't like Finnish have?
Finnish has it.
Like, Finnish?
Polish has it as well. Vietnamese has it. I think Thai, maybe. I could be wrong on Thai though, but I know Vietnamese has it too. So it's around.
Vietnamese for sure, because that was my first Vietnamase translation.
Oh, fabulous! Fabulous.
Yeah. So these covers are all are very cohesive. All
I love
black tones. Book 1 has like a Sorcerer's Stone on it. Book 2 has what looks like the Chamber of Secrets, and 3 has Azkaban, so on and so forth. Very like bold imaging, but very much in the style of an adult book and not a children's book.
And these came in hard and soft cover.
Yeah, hard and soft cover, and both as box sets, which is really cool. I
want to say
I do know that like the box set
Michael
for the hardcover one,
I think, was the illustrator of these. I'm pretty sure it's Michael Wildsmith. I have one right here that I could get up and look at. It's like right an inch further than my arm can reach. I can check it, but I want to say this edition is illustrated by Michael Wildsmith, and he's delightful.
Very cool. Yeah, these are just really, really neat styled books. Definitely adult edition vibes and moodier vibes.
It is. They're very dark. Like, you look at them, and I love how they have, like, whoever did, I guess, Michael Wildsmith. However, like, with book 1, you have this wonderful, bright Philosopher's Stone, and then, like, very dark, foreboding tones of gray and black behind it. It is very cool the way he did that. And all of the covers are done that way. All of them. Very fun. And you can pick these up for not a lot of money, depending on print.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that, like, I feel like getting an actual box set is a little bit trickier because the boxes aren't necessarily the best quality. The paperback box set I actually like a bit better because I like the box better. It has, like, the flap that opens up. So it's kind of cool to display that one.
The box of that is amazing.
It is really cool. And I don't particularly like the hardcover box because it's hard to get the books in and out.
It is, and it's plain.
But the books themselves are very nice.
I will say a little trick.
Thoroughly enjoy
So I
them.
bought first prints of all of these editions, these adult editions, in a box set. Books 1 through 5 came in a sealed box set that I found on eBay. So if you're looking for, and I think I paid $80 shipped for all 5.
That's great.
So if you're looking for first prints and you don't want to spend a lot of money, because sometimes the first prints of these can sell for a lot, look for a box set of 1 through 5 and see, if it's cheap enough, maybe take a chance. That's what I did.
Take a chance and break away. That's what that reminded me of. You said take a chance. Song.
Very nice.
All right. Next sets. The next set is not a set. It is just a book. One book. 1 is the loneliest number. I'm all thinking about all these songs today. Eric, do you have this book? It is the Bloomsbury Anniversary Edition.
Probably not.
You should have this book. Done.
I should have prefaced this. My UK book collection is woefully low.
Mine is plentiful, and I say that because I remember when I first started collecting, the first thing that I started collecting were these UK editions, and that's one of the ways Peter and I became friends. I feel like we talked about this on one of the past episodes he was on. Hold on,
is this the 21st Great Reads for the 21st Century by Bloomsbury?
I believe so. The white cover with the Thomas Taylor across it.
Eric, I even have spares at my apartment right now should you want one.
Yeah, okay, you have it. That's it.
Oh, I do. Okay.
I'm golf clapping
yeah,
right now.
I have
Golf
this
clapping.
one. Yeah, I do.
Yay.
I mean, my UK book collection's pretty complete. I got them all. You name it, I got it.
Good job, buddy. You're doing great.
Yeah, I have it.
I know. I just feel like
this is a great one.
They're all so cool and different.
I'm an expert
I
on
love
this
this
book.
cover.
I got it from Carly.
When I saw this on eBay years ago, I bought it without knowing what it was because it was $1, $9, and $2. How cool is the cover, right?
It's pretty great. It's like a white background, and then it has like the Thomas Taylor cover art printed on top. And then on the cover it says like with a new introduction. It's just a really cool
Have
book.
you read the introduction?
Really cool.
It's a book with the picture of the book on it.
Have.
You should. It's actually, I loved reading it. I really enjoyed reading the intro.
I'll read it.
And then, because back before I was collecting is when I kind of bought it, I want to say, or right around the time I started, and I read the thing and cracked the spine and then sold it. But well worth reading.
All right, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, I will whirl that as well. All right, so back to sets. This is something that we talked about very recently, and these are the signature edition sets, which we have both in hardcover and paperback, and they are amazing. They are super cohesive. The entire set. It's this white background with very bold artistic imaging. You guys are like giggling in the background.
I'm laughing at Erik.
Because I don't have this. Well, no, I do. I have one. I have that one.
Yeah, I mean, so they're still so cool.
And Vietnamese book 4.
I have Italian because that was, I think, my first translation was that book.
Right.
I mean,
if I had to pick one of the books that we've talked about so far, this would be the one that I'd want all 7 for.
I have some spare
box
hardcovers should you,
sick.
and I have spare of the others. I'm sure we can get you a set.
I'm trying to look at. So both the sets are right there. So there's paperback, there's hardcover, but
the boxes are so fun for both.
Hard. They're both just so cool. I like the paperback box better, I think, because it looks like a little gift. I think is really cool.
But my paperback,
they're both awesome.
Paperback box tore really easily, and that was kind of sad. Although my hardcover box also tore, so who am I to talk? They're both great, though.
They're pretty fantastic.
And actually, my hardcover signature edition set I got on Facebook Marketplace for, I want to say Facebook Marketplace, or maybe eBay, for like $150 shipped out of Kazakhstan.
But yeah, these books are unbelievable, just so cool, so unique. I would say unique, but you could get them, and there's a lot of translations that use this art, which is really cool, actually. So
but it's a very different concept for the art, so maybe that's what you mean by unique, because it doesn't look like any of the other things.
Yeah, very cool. The next set, Erik is about to hold it up because he has it and he's so excited, is the Magical Adventure Begins set.
Yay!
I have it.
Yay!
I have it, and it's sealed. I have a sealed copy of this thing.
I love this one. Is so fun. Highly, highly recommend. 10 of 10.
So cool. So yeah, these came out.
I got it for like $20.
I know.
It was not expensive.
Nothing. It's like it's cute little paperbacks. It's only books 1 through 3, and it came out as the Magical Adventure Begins set. And
you can only buy these books in a box set, I believe.
Yeah. And I think they came out this way because they were really just trying to make like an incentive to like start the series, you know?
I think they came out towards
this
summer.
is the beginning of the adventure. Yeah, I think it was like something like that. There was a really cool incentive behind it.
And these are these covers are
so cool.
only here in this 1 through 3. Like, I would love all 7 in a box, like the way that they've done the solid stuff.
So should they do like the Magical Adventure Ends and do another box set?
Oh, Melanie, no.
How about the magical middle? The magical middle.
And
is
the magical adventure never
4 and
ends.
5.
The magical adventure continues, maybe.
No, but that would be like books 4 and 5, and then books 6 and 7 would be like the Magical Adventure Ends.
Oh, that makes
it's like
me
when you go to Universal and it says like the adventure begins, and then it's you know. And
I don't
then
know
when
what
you
they
leave,
do.
it says,
Maybe that's
like,
why they haven't done anything, is they don't want to be like, and it ends, goodbye.
Yeah, maybe. Such a cool little set though, and it's just, it doesn't take up a lot of room on your shelves, so
And there's actually 2 of them. There's one that featured Johnny Duttle covers in a box for 1 through 3. They just reprinted the Magical Adventure Begins set.
Yeah, but I wouldn't get those because it's just the same old Johnny Duttle art.
I know, but I have both because I'm that person.
The next set, Eric is going to be stoked to talk about. I'm stoked to talk about it. I'm saying Eric is going to be stoked because he has been trying to, like, show us this book the entire time we're talking. Like, is it this book? Is it this book? Ready? Are you ready? Hold it up.
I got it.
Yeah,
it's these ones.
So I always call these the modern edition books.
Yeah,
because
that works.
I feel like it's very fitting because it's very bold, bright colors are used. So the cover art came out in hardcover. The front of the book is black with like detailing, bright bold color detailing. So it's black and white.
It's like pencil.
Yeah, wood cuttings.
It's like etchings.
They were done. They're wood cuttings.
Or wood cuttings. Yeah.
So
and then they were transferred to this.
And then the paperbacks are super bright colored books. So it's the exact same art, but aren't done in the black and white. They're done in super bright, bold colors.
And I love both of them. Actually, there's a 3rd edition featuring this art, too, that's kind of a cop-out.
What do you mean?
There's a 3rd edition. It's a hardcover, and it is like the black and white with a bright pink strip at the bottom. It's like a hybrid of the 2.
Well, I don't have that one, so sorry, I can't hold it up.
I have that one because I'm that person. But
my favorite thing about these is like how they look on your shelves is just sick. Like they look so good. The spines of the paperback set looks so nice. It's just such bright coloring. And then the box for the hardcover is a just really cool box, and it has those little doors in the front.
And the ribbon, like when you open it, there's a ribbon attached. It's just a really nice box.
Hashtag X Factor.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Yeah. I love this. I love these editions. And they're very common.
Oh, they're so cool.
And they're very elegant. They're very classy. That's the word. They're very classy.
Yeah, I love them. All right, we've got a few more. Next up are the Johnny Duttle. Duh, have to talk about them. So we have box sets, hardcover and paperback, Johnny Duttle cover art. Love these because they are super ultra cohesive. And he obviously did the whole set. So the whole set is super cohesive. Very cohesive color choice that's used. And these books are also iconic all over the world at this point.
Except for in the United States of America.
Yeah, we don't have them here.
Because we don't have them. And I actually don't have any books in English with Johnny Duttle art.
Whoa.
All of the ones I have are translations.
They're really nice.
You don't have...
I know they are.
You don't have the UK ones?
Nope.
Dude,
I
I
only
have
have translations.
I have hardcover and paperback.
We'll find you a set to buy. No worries.
All right.
And the boxes are delicious. Both of them, especially the hardcover. That's all I'm going to say.
I know. I had my eye on a box set for a while, and like, I don't know. Like, it just wasn't motivating enough for me to buy it. It was even like $50. Like, it wasn't that much.
I did the same thing. I think I had it in like my eBay watch list for like months
that's where mine
before
was,
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. But I think I ended up getting mine. I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure I got it for like $25. Like, stupid cheap.
Yeah, I would spend that much. But like, yeah, because they're aplenty, right? Like, so I wasn't like chasing these down. They're still available now.
Yeah. For sure. And what I thought was so cool was when we talked to Stan a few episodes back, like he was talking about like this was the book that he really recognized in Bulgaria. Like this is the one that was like kind of iconic to him was the Johnny Duttle cover art, which I think is very cool. I love them. I remember like when these came out and I was so excited about them, and I feel like they have just taken over. Actually, I'm gonna All right, we'll talk about this one next. So next one is gift editions, which are phenomenal. Eric, do you have any of these?
I do not. Nope. And they're expensive, so I have not bought any of them.
I don't know. I feel like
they're not.
No.
What am I thinking of? The ones with the slipcase with the signature on the front?
But they're not expensive.
Yeah. Oh no. You know what? Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the French ones. Oh. Those are really expensive.
These are the cost of a new book.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No. These are.
Yeah. Sorry.
These are
the French ones are really expensive. The UK ones are not.
And these are like jelly beans. I call these my jelly beans. Yeah. And Book Depository.
Oh, they're so good. They're so recommend. Good. They're so colorful. Look awesome on your shelves. We'll talk more about this later. Wink, wink.
Wink. Okay.
So next books we can talk about, we can kind of lump these. We have illustrated editions. So with that being said, we have regular illustrated editions by Jim Kay. We have his deluxe illustrated editions. And we also have paperback versions of the illustrated editions, which, as far as we know, are only books 1 through 3.
I've not seen anything
for the paperbacks.
For 4, yeah.
No one has seen anything about 4, which I think is a real shame because I love the size of them. I think the size and proportions are
great, and
like
they have different covers. Like 1 and 2 have different covers.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cool.
That's the coolest part for me. Like book 1 is the motorcycle scene.
Yeah.
It has
right like that, and it's so different than the other one with the train. So it that's really cool to have.
So cool. I mean,
different of a cover. To
make the book smaller and more compact, they did limit the art. There is some art missing from the original illustrated edition to make it like a more compact book. But I feel like if you didn't necessarily know that and the paperback was the first one you picked up, I feel like you wouldn't necessarily feel like you were missing out too much.
Right.
But they're really cool. We've talked about the deluxe edition, the deluxe illustrated in great depth. We have a whole episode about the deluxe illustrated editions, but just in general, we love the illustrated editions. Big fans.
Yeah, same.
Yep. If you're only gonna buy one, buy the hardcover because you get all the art, right? The paperback is missing art. But if you have the hardcover and you're like, boy, I just can't wait to buy more stuff, like these two ladies apparently, because they want me to buy more stuff, buy the paperbacks too. Why not?
Well, the paperbacks are cheap. They're on Amazon, and it's only books 1 through 3. So
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so we got 2 left, guys. 1 is another book that we've talked extensively about, and it's not just a book, it's a whole set, and it's not just a whole set, it's 8 whole sets, and that's because it's the house editions. And
I was gonna say it's not just a whole set, it's a lifestyle. It's a life decision.
It kind of is.
No, but look at this. Look at the top of my bookcase is just literally all these books because they don't fit on my shelves. They would take up so much room. It's absurd. No, but Eric, I have the paperbacks and the hardcovers.
I know. You have the paperbacks too. I gave up on that right away. Thank goodness.
It was the worst decision I've made collecting wise.
Eric of the past realized that this was not going to fly.
I'm so upset about them because of the fact that when the first book came out, we only thought it was going to be for book 1. So collector brain, we were like, okay, let's get 1 of each. I'm going to get hardcover, paperback, 1 of each. See how they all are. They're going to be so great. And then a year later, Chamber of Secrets is announced, and we're like, great. Now I have to get 8 sets. 8.
And that's when I said, great. Hey, friend of mine, Abby, you want a book from the UK? Here's a Slytherin paperback book because I don't want anything to do with these now that they've announced more. So take it off my hands. Merry Christmas.
The Chamber paperbacks are much prettier than the Philosopher paperbacks, in my opinion. So I would have been so sad, but
they're really cool. They are cool. There's merits to both the hardcover and the softcover. I just could not fathom buying all of them, and I know you both did. And so 2 claps for you, but I did.
It's a stupid mistake, and it was a regret. Like, I don't regret anything, but like that would be close to it.
No, I do. I think I regret having all of these. At the same time, I think the paperbacks are better quality than the hardcovers. I'm going to go out and say that.
By a long
I think
shot.
if you were going to get like one set, I think I would prefer to get the paperbacks. Which the shame of that is I'm pretty sure the box set is only hardcover. Am I making that up?
I think you're right.
That's true.
So that stinks.
For now.
But they are so cool. Like, they're cool.
Yeah, wait for the 30th anniversary. It'll be paperback box set.
I don't know,
30th
because
anniversary.
the 25th
they switch it
anniversary,
out.
they just came out with one book. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do?
It'll be the same set, just inverted. Instead of like black, green, it'll be like green, black, green, black, green, black.
I don't want to talk about that. But speaking of 25th anniversary book, that is the last book on our list, is the 25th anniversary of Philosopher's Stone. Fun way to round it all out.
It is.
That's the book that we just got. And what's so cool is you have all of these books, and like, for me, I have all of these books on my shelves, and I didn't read the UK books as a kid growing up. I read the Mary Grand Pré books. Those are the ones that I sat on my lap at camp reading those books when I was a kid. And for people in the UK, they had when they were little and reading these books for the first time, they probably had a Thomas Taylor book. But then all throughout the rest of their life, looking at Harry Potter books and looking for these books, they were seeing Johnny Duddle, and they were seeing the modern paperbacks, and they were seeing the adult editions, and they weren't seeing the Thomas Taylor nostalgic art that they loved as kids. So when they brought back this 25th anniversary edition, it was so nostalgic. And I feel like we didn't have that big of an impact on us here because we look at Thomas Taylor's art on a daily basis. Just us as collectors, we have Thomas Taylor all over our shelves. But like, think of how cool it must have been, like, being in the UK and seeing this book out on shelves again. I
think it would be so cool.
Awesome. Pure nostalgia.
Yeah,
it's great.
and we don't get that here because Mary Grand Pré has never left our shelves here at the bookshops. So, like, they can't reintroduce the same cover. I mean, I guess they could, but like, it wouldn't have the same impact.
Talking about that. We were talking about that in our 25th like speculation
we were,
episode.
And Sean in our Discord mentioned that we are confirmed up to the 119th printing of the first edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's
Holy
Stone.
buckets.
So, like, that cover has never left. If you want a Mary Grand Pré iconic art, like, we've always been able to go and buy a new copy of that at the bookstore.
Yeah,
so
I could go to Barnes & Noble right now and pick it up.
Yeah, that's why we mentioned in our, like, hopes and dreams for the U.S. anniversary that just, like, reissuing some sort of Mary Grand Pré art of Book 1 wouldn't have the same effect as it did as the 25th anniversary in the United Kingdom because, like you just mentioned, we have all these other books with all of these different covers and different artists in general, and bringing it back to the book that started it all is really kind of a really great nostalgic way to celebrate 25 years of Harry Potter for fans of the book in the UK. Not necessarily wouldn't have the same effect in the United States. So, like, hope they don't do that. But for the UK, really great, and it does have extra features. We've mentioned that in our previous episodes too. It's got some extra pages at the end that has more information about the book itself, about the brown-beard wizard on the back that Melanie kind of hinted at. If you want to know more about the story of what happened to the brown-beard wizard and why was it replaced by Dumbledore, that's in that book. So it just has a nice chunk of bonus content added to a book that everyone is already familiar with. So it is absolutely worth a buy for the price of a new book for really any Harry Potter fan, but I feel like this is especially geared towards people that live in the United Kingdom and even Ireland that have grown up with these books. So here's to hoping they don't do that for every book of the series, because guess who's going to have to buy them? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So, or maybe not. Maybe I will say no.
But at least it would only be six more books. It would at least be 6 more books. So
because that's
true.
what we need.
There is that. But I don't know if I need all 7 of them. But this one is really great.
It is. It's actually really good. It's a really well done anniversary edition.
I think we were all very happy about it. minus the fact that it didn't have the silver gilded side edge.
The gilded edge, right? I mean, that would have taken it to the extreme.
The next
Such
level.
a letdown.
But definitely an awesome way to round out all of the UK books. I will also just throw out, Johnny just sent us a message. He's listening in, and he said that you can get the box set of the house editions in paperback, which...
Oh,
like if you're gonna do it, like that's what I would recommend doing.
Same.
Yeah, go for it.
But anyway,
that was the other thing.
Yes.
They all came out, and then they all came out as the box set.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Thanks.
I don't want to talk about it.
Thanks, Bloomsbury.
I don't want to talk about it.
Anyway, that's the end of it.
Well, what I do want to talk about is the translation of the show.
Da, 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 da.
Okay, so for the translation of the show for this episode, we are going to be talking about the gift editions of the UK books, specifically the Deathly Hallows book of the gift editions. And guess what, y'all? I don't have this one. This is 2 episodes in a row where I don't have the translation of the show, and that's okay because I love learning about books that I don't have, and I think it reinforces the point that even though we have this podcast and we all collect kind of similar things, we still all have different things, and there's really no, like, set thing to collect. So, like, if you're out there listening and you're like, wow, I don't have all these translations, that's okay. Like, anything that you collect is really cool. So, I can be just like you, person that doesn't have these, and learn about them in this episode. So, obviously, the translator, there isn't one. It's the original text from the UK. So, thanks, J.K. Rowling. Publisher is Bloomsbury, because all the books in the UK are published by Bloomsbury, and general info on the language, it's English. I think we're good on English. Came from England.
So. I think so.
Right. So, Melanie, Carly, on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most rare, 1 being I found it in a mailer for a bunch of coupons with an AOL free trial in my mailbox. What would this be, 1 to 5, for rarity?
I think it's still on Book Depository, so like a 1.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, I think you could still like get these relatively easily. I recall getting all of these on Amazon.
I got them between Amazon, UK, eBay, and I think Book Depository. I think Goblet came from Book Depository.
So then I would say it's safe to say the value is that of a new book, plus maybe shipping, because if you're American or Canadian, they're not available like here, but you can buy them for the cost of a new book, plus whatever the site you want to buy them from charges to ship them to North America.
Yep, agree.
Depending on shipping costs, I mean, it's price of the new book plus shipping, so not a ton. I think before we go into the rating scale, I think you should tell us a little bit more about this set in general. Like, what do they all look like? What do they all have in common?
I mean, slipcases. Like, need I say more?
Just one word.
Like, here's the thing, is I say, like, Melanie's Dialogue Alley catchphrase is, like, sucker for a box set. Like, I am just a sucker for a box set. I love a box set. What's better than a box set than an individual box per book? And that's what these slipcases are.
What if there was a box per book and there was a box set of those books? Would you just
Stop
like...
it.
Would that be the end of you? Would you just leave?
And
I would be
right off into the sunset.
Unalived at that point.
And it would be heavy.
So these, I mean, they're hefty. I love Carly's like term for them, like calling them like jelly beans, because I feel like they totally are. One of my favorite things when they first started coming out was they correlated. I mean, the art on these is Johnny Duddle's art, right? So it's not artwork that's unfamiliar to us. And what was so cool was the books correlated with the Johnny Duddle books for the longest time. I think until like book 5, you could like hold up a gift edition and hold up the book 5 Johnny Duddle art next to each other, and the color choice and everything looked so good. And then I think by the time they got to Half-Blood Prince, it just like started falling off the wagon. Like they just like didn't look alike at all. Looked like, hey, I'm gonna pick this color out of a hat, and that'll be for this book, and this color out of a hat. But every book is different. Every book is a different color. Every slipcase is a different color that goes with that book. And they're all bright and vibrant and friendly.
And you just want to hold them. You want to own them, unless you're Erik.
They feel, you know what? For a book that we were just saying, like, the value of these books is the cost of a new book. But, like, what we mean by that is, like, they're not that expensive, but they feel expensive, you know? Like, I prefer these to the deluxe editions that we were talking about before.
Hands down.
Oh, they're just so much better.
Kind of, you know, that trend that's going on I think, TikTok, where it's like, post a picture of your pet if they're on a dating site. Like, if,
yes,
you know, Deathly Hallows were to post their dating site pic, it would be this book, because it's so perfect. It's a true story.
They're really lovely. Like, there's so much gold foiling. That's the only way that the art is depicted on these, is just in etched gold foiling, which is gorgeous.
Especially with that black.
I mean,
pretty shiny.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
if you're a Niffler, you have 1,000 of these already.
I know. Isn't that something Peter says? He's like, the inner Niffler in me is just like going crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like he says that like in all of his like little videos about anything that's like super shiny. I'm like, yeah, I get that with these books. I feel like Deathly Hallows in particular we'll definitely get into with our rating scale, but yeah, all of the colors of them, they're beautiful. I keep turning around to look at them, so sorry if I like cut out.
No, they're worth it. Like they're beautiful, all of them. Yeah,
Philosopher's Stone is orange with a purple slipcase, and then Chamber is lime green, bright lime green with a red slipcase. Then you have red with a blue slipcase, blue with an orange. Then you have like this purple with a light blue, like a baby light blue. And then there's yellow with like a maroon slipcase. And then Deathly Hallows is, I think, my favorite, which is why I think I picked it for the translation.
It's definitely of the show. My favorite of the 7. I love the black.
Like, I feel like I say all the time, like, just purple and gold are just like the most, like, just remind me of magic. It's just magical colors together. And then just the black and gold slipcase is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
They're so nice. Yes, Erik, you also will add them to your list. Erik,
we'll find you some. We'll find you some.
Thankfully, they're new. They're new enough where people can gradually get these for me over time.
Yes.
They're great gifts to ask for when people ask what I would like for a gift, and
which
I can give them one.
They're like the gift edition.
Our Secret Santa next year.
I
can participate and get one of these.
You never know.
That's true. So let's get into, what we normally do by smelling these. And by we, I mean you two. So I'd like to invite you both to open your book and smell it and tell me what you think on a scale of dreadful to outstanding.
All right, I have to take my headphones down because I don't want to crack my spine and I can't open it wide enough. So hold, please.
Can't you just tip it up?
No, because I like to like open and like get in there.
Oh, okay. Well, you do you.
Hold on. Okay. Here's the thing, is when I first like took it out of the slipcase and I just put my nose to the edge, I was like, wow, it was like very overpowering smell. I'm like, I wonder if the slipcase doesn't really smell. But sticking my nose deep in it, I feel like it's just like unacceptable. I feel like it doesn't really have too strong of a smell after all.
Yeah,
I don't know. No, I would say exceeds
acceptable is acceptable.
I would say acceptable.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't remember anything salient.
It's nothing crazy. Nothing crazy about it.
Acceptable is a good score. Remember, that's a pass. You get an OWL.
It's better than poor. You don't stink.
No, it's good.
Well, right. What about the size and proportion of these? You maybe mentioned the slipcase and the book. I mean, how do we want to do this?
I feel like
I mean, it's the book itself, so I feel like
the book
if you're doing the
case, whereas like how it feels in the hand is just
I think we could do both. We could do both. I think like
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like size and proportions, I would say, are outstanding. I love them. I love just the perfect rectangle that you get from the book in the slipcase is
just a happy little
stellar
shape. Yeah. So I would say it's probably...
I think it's very nice.
Exceeds expectations for me.
Okay.
2.0
I think that's fair.
minus. But it's hard to be an O. We're going to do exceeds expectations plus.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fair.
You know what? I'm going to change mine to exceeds expectations because I agree with you. Ooh. I feel like it doesn't...
Double E.
Oh, yeah. So I don't think we have an exceeds expectations sound effect. But that's okay.
I don't think there's one of those either.
But that's okay. Yeah, because you know what? It doesn't necessarily have something that like makes it stand out from other books, but it is very nice size. Yeah. It's a good size.
I'd agree with that 100%.
Nice. So then once we take it out of the slipcase, I think that's where we have to rate the how it feels in your hand, because you don't read it through the slipcase unless you have some sort of magical ability that I do not.
I mean,
you have to take it out to read.
That I would say is outstanding. It is such a hefty, like, substantial book. This is a very heavy book. The cover is super, super thick. It just feels so nice and sturdy. I love like the curve of the spine makes the curve of the pages really nice. Spine. Which like that just feels very nice. It just feels nice in your hands. And I feel like also like the texture of the paper is very smooth and clean.
Yes, it's a great paper. I'm probably
going
to give this one an O because I love how it feels in my hand. Even for being such a hefty book, it doesn't feel weighty, if that makes sense. I feel like one hand can hold it.
It feels nice.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also say outstanding for how it feels in your hand.
Awesome. I mean, I don't have this, but I'm guessing quality of the book.
Okay, so quality of the book, I would give it like an outstanding with the slightest minus, only because, and this isn't a fault of the book, this is a fault of Amazon, because the slipcase can ding. And that is like horrific. And I remember when I finally got this book, I waited so long for it. I remember I had so many issues with Amazon, like my order was late, whatever the case may be. And I finally got the book and I have a ding in my slipcase. And that I was devastated over it. So that's something to like be aware of, is that the slipcases can ding.
Very terribly.
The quality... Yeah, like this one is like, it is not a ding. It's like, that is a dent. I don't, the lighting is like terrible in my room, so it's
do we have a sound effect for that?
Womp.
Outstanding.
Womp, womp, womp. Well, my book 6, I got it from Amazon UK, which I'd never buy from if I can help it. And one of the corners was entirely like shoved in, like entirely gone. And it was like, the slipcases, in my opinion, could be made so much better. So yeah, that's kind of the one caveat to an otherwise outstanding book. So because of that, for me, quality of the book is like between acceptable and exceeds expectations, because my expectations with a slipcase were not exceeded. I was disappointed.
That is very fair.
I feel that way about the slipcase for sure. I feel about like the quality of the book itself.
Outstanding. Book
is outstanding.
Itself.
The boards are so heavy. Mm-hmm. And it is so well bound. Like this book would hold up. It's
definitely. It's kind of like, it reminds me of kind of like the German rainbow set, like by how wonderful the boards are. It feels very similar to those. If you have those, these feel similar.
And heavy, heavy like that.
And even to the color pop, like great dyes on the colors, like they've done a great job, and then they let it slip with the cases. Dad joke pun.
Oh,
look at you,
boy, that was amazing.
It's been such a while.
I'm so proud out of me, though.
It's almost like the cover is so hard.
You guys.
Had to be done.
Silly geese.
Speaking of the cover, you did allude to it earlier that it is Johnny Dettle cover art. However, like, just from me looking at it, and I've looked at a few on my computer here, like, it looks awesome. And, like, pictures don't do it justice if you don't have the light reflecting off of it. I think we all understand that, especially if you're looking at the Anniversary Korean edition hardcover book, Melanie. You know,
we know you love that.
You don't really notice the shine until it's right there. But I think this cover of all of them, especially book 7, it looks so cool the way that they did the foiling, and the solid color. Like, that is so simple. Carly and I, we talked about the signature editions, how simple covers can be so effective. It almost reminds me of the Magic Begins set, where it's just a solid cover with the foil as, like, the pop image on it. So, like, it's such a simple design, but it can be so effective when it's done right. And I'm not going to give it a score because I don't have these, but I think it's done so right that these may have to go on my shopping cart.
We'll help you buy some.
What I'm gonna say is, like, so cool about these is, so on the slipcase, the front slipcase, it's the same image on every single book. So what's cool is you get to see Hogwarts with this gold foiling. Sorry, Eric, the light is over here. He, like, wants to see it, but...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so it's because you're on phones. That's why you can't see, like, my whole image.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
We're all vertical screens here.
Sorry, friends.
There we go.
So the gold foiling with Hogwarts Castle is done on every one of these slipcases in all of those different colors, which is so cool. Deathly Hallows in particular is probably the coolest one because it's black and gold. It just looks beautiful. And then the slipcase mirrors the cover of the book on the other side of the slipcase. So the cover of Deathly Hallows is Hagrid on his motorbike, which is just a magical image to see. It's just so cool. So you look on the book and you see that's the cover is Hagrid on this golden motorbike. It's just phenomenal. And just really cool as well is the end papers that they use is
phenomenal.
Fantastic. It's
they make me so happy.
The color Johnny Dettle image of Hogwarts Castle, and you have the Hogwarts Express in the background. You have a little bit of Hogsmeade in there. Like, it's just gorgeous. So, like, it's outstanding for this cover art, and it's not cover art. I would say that this is a really good example of interpretation of cover art, because this is how they kind of interpreted the Johnny Dettle cover art onto these gift editions, which I just think is so well done.
Yeah, like, that is a great example of an outstanding for interpretation, because you don't need something new. You just make something that exists
different,
not better, but just, like, so different that it stands out amongst all the other versions of that art, which it's hard to do, especially when there have been so many different versions that have used that art. But, like, I would, like, fathom to say that if you hadn't been super familiar with the Johnny Dettle art in general, you wouldn't even necessarily know this was from that, because it's such a drastic pivot from just what those books look like.
Wait, like,
individually.
Wait, do you mean like the new Romanian translation?
You know, we're going to forget about the new Romanian because that never happened, and I know full well that the new Romanian Arthur translations are just a zoomed in photo of the Johnny Dettle art. So, but had I not known that, I might have told a friend that it's just a zoomed in picture, because that friend might not have had all 7 books with Johnny Dettle art, so that friend might not have recognized, that right away.
That's okay, Eric.
Just saying.
That's okay, friend.
It's okay, friend. Okay. But it's a book among books. Like this.
It's my friend Skippy.
Yes. This book is a book among books, though. Like, you look at it and it's a standout book.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It's probably my favorite edition of Deathly Hallows out of the UK. Yeah, like X Factor, like you just said. It's my favorite UK Deathly Hallows edition.
Yeah. I think the slipcase. Also, we'd never even mentioned the fact that they have the ribbon bookmark.
I know.
Oh my gosh! So you don't even need to buy a separate bookmark or use a dollar bill,
or the receipt it came with,
or a crumpled up note from your friend.
Right in there. You just got a bookmark, just a ribbon. You put it in. So
cool. I love it.
Yeah, there's just too many X factors about
these were what the deluxe editions should have been, in my opinion.
Preach.
Yep.
I totally agree.
And then you compare any of these to the U.S. collector's editions that we
And I think that's why I don't care about the U.S. deluxe or collector's editions, is because they just fall flat, which is a different topic for a different day.
I'm not going to talk to you about the deluxe. I'm not going to talk to you about the deluxe 5, 6, and 7 because I love those books. I love those books. This is going to be...
That'll be... we've already talked... Well, Melanie... Carly and I talked about those books. I don't think you were here yet.
I wasn't here yet. I was on maternity
So that
leave.
might be a revisited topic.
Yeah.
That
would actually be good because we are polar opposite on
time.
that opinion.
I love those books so much.
We are. So I'd like to talk about those again at some point. But
not today.
We do not have time to do that today.
No,
so
because...
There you have it, though.
Yeah.
The gift editions. Jelly beans. Foil.
They're beautiful.
Slipcase.
Beautiful books.
Beauties.
Yep.
So yeah, like Erik said, it's all we have time for today. Because it is way past our bedtimes. Believe it or not. I don't know if you guys know this that listen to the podcast, but Erik, Carly, and I are on 3 separate time zones. So when we record this, we're recording, Carly's recording into the future, and I'm recording into the past. And time travel recording. So while it may be, I don't know, what time is it even for you right now, Carly?
It's 8:47.
So it's 8:47 for Carly, which means it's 9:47 for Erik, which means it's 10:47 for Melanie.
Yeah, we've only been recording for 48 minutes, according to your time.
I'm real sleepy. Yeah, I guess. I'm so sleepy. Oh. So it is time for night, and that's all we have time for today on this episode of Dialogue Alley. But if you would like to get in touch with us, you can do so in many, many ways. You can message Carly on Instagram at All the Pretty Books, or Erik on Instagram at Nocturne Erik, or you can message me on Instagram at the Harry Potter Collection. You could also just reach out directly to Dialogue Alley Podcast at Dialogue Alley Podcast that's our Instagram, so you can find us on there. And we have all sorts of pictures of the things that we talk about. We talked about a lot of books today, so we are going to do our very, very best to get all of these pictures up ASAP for you guys. It's a lot. That is a lot of books, but we're going to do our very best to get them up there. We got it. We got it. But just in case, I will say, I know that I have the pictures of all of these on my website, which is theharrypottercollection.com. I know Carly has all, if not most of these on her website, which is alltheprettybooks.net. And you can find pictures of our translation of the show always at our website, which is dialoguealley.com. You can also find us on Twitter, dialogue_alley. Or you can follow me on TikTok at the Harry Potter Collection.
Super fun TikTok, by the way. Super fun.
I know. I posted a new one today of my new Stanley cup, which I feel real trendy. I'm like so trendy with this cup. It's so big, but I put a Dialogue Alley sticker on it, so people will look.
I've given away a couple of those Dialogue Alley stickers to people that have promised to stick them on something.
Well, I mean,
not clothing.
I feel like you see my water bottle a lot because I just carry it with me everywhere I go. So that's why my sticker is on there. But
these are test stickers. I've asked all of them to report back to me on how they stick.
Yeah, I know. They're so cool. So yeah, I mean, other ways that you could spread the news of our podcast if it's not sticking a sticker on your water bottle is you could tell your friends. You could leave us a review. That's always super cool. We love reading reviews on the podcast. So if you leave us a review, it might get read. And just keep on listening. And one of the coolest places that you can find this podcast, other than Apple or Google or Spotify or any of those other places that you might listen to us, is you can find us on MuggleNet, which is really, really cool. We are a MuggleNet podcast with a bunch of other really cool MuggleNet podcasts. I started listening to a couple of other ones that David recommended the other day. Like, I just started like looking into all these others, and I'm like going down the rabbit hole of all of these Harry Potter podcasts, which is really cool because we're all so different. So that's an awesome thing. So other than listening to us, the other way that you could support us if you want to be a little bit more involved with Dialogue Alley is by supporting us on Patreon. You could do that by going to patreon.com/dialoguealley. And we have different tier options. One of them gives you access to our Discord. Another one gives you access to live listen-ins or listening to our episodes ad-free, which is a really cool option as well.
And a day early.
Oh, duh. Yeah, you could listen to us early. So if you want that cool Monday commute Dialogue Alley podcast, you could do that if you support us on Patreon. So really cool. So with all of that being said, it is now time to walk back through the archway and into our daily lives, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.